Cecil's wrong. You guys are being dummies. When I look at the discourse on Mark versus Cecil, I see people glazing Cecil to high heaven about how pragmatic or practical he is, and I can't help but think, huh? For context, in Season 3, we see the emergence of a new storyline. After Doc Seismic captures all the heroes allied with the GDA, Mark and Eve rush to the rescue only to end up captured as well. In a tight spot, Cecil makes the decision to use criminals D.A. Sinclair and Darkwing to help them with the situation, whom he had been keeping secret. Mark is infuriated at finding this out, and confronts Cecil, after which Cecil defends his decision with,
D.A. Sinclair's a genius. Darkwing cracked from fighting endless crime in Midnight City. You don't waste people like that, you reform them.
Cecil makes 3 points. A, neither criminal can fix their wrongdoings in prison, explaining, you don't waste people like them, you reform them. B, D.A. Sinclair is a genius, and Darkwing mentally snapped from fighting endless crime, making a point that simple punishment doesn't make sense when the wrongdoer is exceptionally talented or can be empathized with. C, neither Darkwing nor Sinclair are actively committing harm and are only contributing to positive effect. I think it should be noted that up until this point, Cecil is absolutely correct. After all, from a utility perspective, the more pieces you have in the field serving your cause, the better shot you have at winning, whether that's against Doc Seismic in a throwaway fight or an impending Viltrumite invasion. But is correctness only measured in theory? Again, y'all love to glaze Cecil for being the god of practicality, but within that confrontation, Cecil does almost everything right except being practical. First off, Cecil says,
You reform them, repair them, let them make restitution for their mistakes.
Which implies that Darkwing had been rehabilitated and is actually working to redemption through his work in the GDA. But redemption takes intention as well as action, and Cecil makes no effort or point of proving Darkwing's intention to be better to Mark, a supposedly terrifying threat. And let's be real, nobody is trusting that Winter Soldier went to Lake Laogai ass expression.
I did terrible things, but that was before.
If Mark is such a powerful threat that he warrants extra supervision and defenses, then you should be communicating with him to maintain good diplomacy and prevent yourself from needing those defenses. But to top that off, within their actual argument, Cecil fails to properly de-escalate tensions with Mark, turning his back to him, walking away from Mark instead of making sure his concern is addressed, and flatly arguing on a rational level with condescending tone instead of addressing Mark's emotions, which is Mark's whole problem this season. He's emotionally fucked up. From what he went through with his dad, killing Angstrom Levy, stressing about raising Oliver, and before you guys get on me about Cecil not being a mind reader, he literally admits himself that the Graysons are under constant surveillance. So you're not going to tell me that Cecil doesn't have a psychological profile on Mark. If he's interacting with Invincible, he has no excuses for not knowing the ins and outs of Mark's mind. And so, even if his reasoning for using D.A. Sinclair and Darkwing is logically sound, his handling of Mark makes no sense. Now before you go to the comments and excuse this, try this thought experiment with me. A man shows up with a bomb vest strapped to his chest, seeming upset. A big threat to yours and others' safety. And your job is to make sure that bomb doesn't go off and kill anyone. Would you A, make the man feel crazy for being upset by arguing with cold logic, turning your back to him in conversation, and walking away while aura farming? Or B, make him at least feel his concerns are being addressed and work to disarm him of any aggression so him triggering the bomb becomes less likely of a threat. Right. Actually, let me make this example more accurate. What if in this situation you also have an entire psychological profile, know this man inside and out mentally, know what his issue is and what he's going through exactly? Does that change your answer at all? Thought so.